Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're looking into something really common for English learners,
Right.
especially if you're, learning on your own. How can you actually practice speaking English well by yourself?
It's a great question. I mean, it feels like you need someone to talk to, doesn't it?
It does. But the thinking we've explored shows there's actually a lot more to it.
Definitely.
So this deep dive is all about those powerful, pretty easy ways you can practice speaking English completely alone.
Based on what we found, works, yeah.
And this kind of solo practice, it isn't just a plan B, it's like a really vital step.
Hmm.
It helps build your confidence, gets you used to the sound and rhythm of English. It even trains your brain to think in English.
And you get to set the pace, which is huge.
Totally. And maybe the biggest thing, it's a safe zone. You can make mistakes without feeling, watched or judged.
Those are massive benefits, honestly, especially if you feel a bit shy starting out. It's about getting internally ready.
Exactly. And the good news is there are specific techniques that make this really work. We're going to look at things like shadowing, recording yourself.
Talking to yourself.
Yeah.
Yes, that one too.
Yeah. And using online stuff and even just reading out loud.
So maybe before we jump into the how, let's just quickly touch on why this solo practice is so important, particularly for beginners.
Good point. I think confidence is really the big starting point. Trying to speak a new language, it can feel pretty exposing, right?
Definitely.
If you're worried about messing up in front of someone, that fear can just, stop you in your tracks. Practicing alone just takes that pressure right off.
That low-stakes environment is crucial. It gives you the freedom to just try stuff, play around with words, stumble a bit with sentences, work on those tricky sounds, all without feeling like someone's grading you. You're in charge.
And it's more than just feeling safe. It's actually retraining your brain. By practicing alone, you're pushing your brain to skip that step of translating from your native language.
Right.
You start trying to think directly in English, and that makes real conversations feel, much smoother down the line.
You're building those direct mental pathways. Plus, like you said, the pace is all yours. If one sound or sentence is tough.
You can repeat it 50 times if you want.
Exactly. No need to keep up with anyone else.
And this is key. Mistakes aren't bad. They're just information. Practicing alone means you can make mistakes freely.
You almost want to make them, in a way.
Right, because each one shows you something you need to work on, and you figure it out in private.
That's like building up your skills, your muscle memory, before you add the layer of actually interacting live.
Okay, let's dive into the first specific technique then. Shadowing. Sounds a bit cool, but it's actually quite simple and really effective. So, what is shadowing?
Shadowing is basically listening to a native speaker, maybe from a video, podcast, whatever, and then you try to repeat what they say right after them.
Like literally talking over them, almost.
Almost. Like an echo. You're trying to copy them as closely as you can immediately.
Okay, like a shadow following close behind.
Precisely. And the main goal, especially at first, isn't even full understanding. It's about copying the sound.
The sound.
Yeah, the pronunciation of the words, how they link together, the sentence rhythm, the intonation, how the voice goes up and down. You're trying to catch the music of English.
Ah, okay. That makes sense. So it helps your own speaking sound more natural over time. What about beginners? It sounds like it could be really fast.
It can be, yeah. That's a good point. The key is to start small. Don't pick some super fast dialogue right away.
Right.
Start with short, clear sentences. And definitely slow down the audio. Lots of players let you do that.
Like 0.75x speed or something.
Exactly. That 0.75x speed is often recommended. It just gives your brain and mouth a bit more time to keep up. Then you can slowly speed it up as you get more comfortable.
That's super practical. So it's hitting listening skills and speaking mechanics at the same time.
That's it. Training your ear and your mouth together. And
Yeah.
definitely pick content you actually like.
Oh, yeah. Why is that?
Well, shadowing involves repetition. If you're shadowing a boring weather report, you'll quit fast. But if it's a cooking show you enjoy or a travel vlog,
You're more likely to stick with it.
exactly, it keeps it interesting.
And the goal isn't perfection, right? Just practice, getting comfortable with the sounds.
Absolutely. Even just a few minutes here and there adds up. And you can do it anywhere you can listen privately.
All right, technique number 2, recording yourself speaking. Now this might make some people a bit uncomfortable.
Huh. Yeah, hearing your own voice can be weird.
But it's presented as really, really effective. Why is listening back to yourself so useful?
Well, when you're speaking normally, you don't really hear yourself the way others do. Your brain's busy thinking about what to say next. Recording gives you that outside perspective. You hear exactly how you sound.
And what should you be listening for when you play it back? Assuming you get over the initial, cringe factor.
Right. Well, once you're past that, focus on specifics. Your pronunciation, are certain sounds clear? Are you maybe mumbling? Check your pace. Too fast. Too slow. And notice your fluency, how many ums and ellens are in there. You often don't realize until you listen back.
Filler words, yeah. I bet that's revealing.
Definitely. That kind of targeted feedback on your own speech is gold. It helps you know exactly what to work on.
So what should people talk about when they record? Just anything?
Variety is good. It helps practice different vocabulary. You could describe your day, talk about a movie you saw, explain a hobby.
Or even combine it with other practice, like if you shadowed something.
Exactly. If you shadowed a video about making coffee, try recording yourself explaining the steps in your own words.
Yeah.
It connects the different methods.
Smart. And you don't need fancy gear for this, right?
Nope. Your phone's voice recorder is perfect. The main thing is just starting. And again, don't worry about mistakes.
Listen for the mistakes, maybe.
Yes. Identify them, learn from them. That's the whole point.
And I guess recording the same topic maybe a few weeks apart could show progress.
Oh, absolutely. That's a fantastic motivator. Record yourself talking about, say, your weekend plans today. Do it again next month. You'll likely hear a real difference in how easily the words come.
Provides actual proof you're improving.
It does. Tangible evidence.
So, face the fear, hit record, even just a minute to start. Okay, next up. The one that sounds a bit odd. Talking to yourself.
Ah, yes. It might feel strange at first, but it's incredibly useful for building fluency and thinking on your feet in English.
How does that actually work? Are you having full conversations?
Not necessarily full debates. It's more about narrating your actions and thoughts out loud in English.
Like a running commentary?
Kind of. Okay, I'm making tea now. Need the kettle. Where's the tea bag? Or describing things you see around you. That's a really bright red bus going past.
So it's like turning your inner thoughts into spoken English.
That's a great way to put it. It gets you practicing forming sentences spontaneously in real time, but with zero pressure. Nobody's waiting for an answer. It helps make everyday words and simple sentences feel automatic. And you can do it anywhere you're alone, home, car, walking.
And it seems great for using new vocabulary right away.
It really is. Just learn the word chop when you're making dinner. Okay, now I need to chop the onions. Using words in context like that helps them stick much better.
Better than just memorizing a list.
For sure. And fundamentally, this practice helps cut down on that mental translation time.
The thinking in English part again.
Exactly. By constantly making yourself form thoughts directly in English, you're training your brain to skip the detour through your first language. It might feel clunky at first.
But gets easier.
Yeah, with practice, you find yourself reaching for the English words more naturally.
So start small. Maybe just narrate making your bed or something. It's a powerful habit, even if it feels a bit silly initially. All right, let's shift to using online resources. There's so much out there.
There really is. Technology is a huge help here. Language learning apps are often a good first stop. Many have, interactive exercises, vocabulary practice.
Some even check your pronunciation, right?
Yeah, those speech recognition features can be quite useful for basic sounds.
And then there's just everything else online. Videos, audio.
Absolutely. YouTube, Spotify, podcast platforms.
Right.
They're like treasure troves. You can find native speakers talking about literally any topic you're interested in.
Travel, cooking, tech, anything.
Right. It's fantastic exposure to real English, used naturally.
But how do you make that active practice? It's easy to just passively listen.
That's the key distinction. You need to engage. Don't just listen. Pause the video. Try to summarize what you just heard out loud.
Okay.
Hear a phrase you like. Pause it. Repeat it a few times. Use the content as a springboard. Watch a video about gardening. Record yourself talking about what you learned.
So using the online stuff as fuel for your own speaking.
Exactly. And even language exchange sites.
Huh?
Maybe you're not ready for live video calls yet.
That can be intimidating.
Right, but just writing messages back and forth with someone, that's still great practice for forming sentences and expressing ideas in English.
Yeah.
Builds confidence.
What about online groups or forums?
Also useful. Find a community around your hobby that uses English. Read the discussions. Eventually, try writing a comment or asking a question. It's low pressure, real world practice.
So the main idea is use these resources, but use them actively. Don't just consume, create.
Make them part of your speaking routine. Don't just listen. Speak along. Speak about it.
Makes sense. Okay, our final technique today seems almost too simple, but it's highlighted as really powerful. Reading aloud. How does just reading words off a page help your speaking?
It hits several things at once, actually.
Right.
First, pronunciation. You have to make the sounds for each word.
Okay.
Second, fluency. You're practicing linking words together smoothly in sentences, getting a feel for the flow.
Right, not just single words.
And third, you're hearing yourself speak English. You get immediate auditory feedback, which builds confidence.
Hearing yourself succeed, basically.
Exactly. And you control everything, what you read, how fast you go. It could be anything. A news story, a book chapter, song lyrics.
What's best for beginners to read aloud?
Simpler stuff is usually recommended to start. Children's books are great, simple words, clear sentences, often repetitive structures.
Lets you focus on the sounds without struggling with meaning.
Precisely. Or find texts specifically designed for English learners. They're leveled appropriately.
How do you check if you're doing it right if you're alone?
This is where you can combine techniques again. Record yourself reading aloud.
Okay. Use the phone again.
Yep. Listen back. How does it sound? Are there words you stumble on? Are you rushing? You could even find an audio version of the same text read by a native speaker and compare.
That's a really smart way to get feedback. It seems like reading aloud helps internalize how English sentences just flow.
It really does. You practice the rhythm, the intonation patterns. It's like rehearsing for real speech, but without the pressure of thinking up the words yourself.
And wasn't there a sort of challenge mode suggested for this?
Yeah, for when you're more comfortable. Try reading dialogue aloud. From a play, maybe, or a movie script.
Why dialogue?
Because it forces you to practice different tones, emotions, maybe even different voices. It gets you closer to the dynamics of real conversation.
Interesting. So find something you like, find a quiet corner, and just speak the words.
It's active rehearsal, not just passive reading.
Wow, okay. So just to recap quickly, we covered shadowing, echoing native speakers for sound and rhythm.
Recording yourself getting that crucial objective feedback.
Talking to yourself, building that quick, think in English fluency.
Using online resources, actively turning listening into speaking practice.
And finally, reading aloud, working on pronunciation, flow, and confidence by speaking written words.
And the big message running through all of these is you absolutely can make significant progress speaking English on your own.
Yeah, these aren't just filler activities. They really work.
They build confidence, improve your pronunciation, get you thinking in English, all without needing a partner right there.
And they're so flexible, you can fit them in whenever, wherever. The key thing, really, seems to be consistency.
Absolutely. Even just small amounts regularly. Don't aim for perfection, aim for practice. Mistakes are totally normal, expected even.
So maybe the challenge for everyone listening is pick just one of these. Whichever one sounded most interesting or doable.
Yeah, try it today. 5 minutes of shadowing. Record yourself talking about your breakfast. Read one page out loud.
Just take that first step. Then maybe add another technique later. Build a routine that works for you.
And here's something to think about after this deep dive. This solo practice, it's not just about getting better at talking to yourself.
Right.
Every time you practice like this, you're building this really strong internal foundation. You're developing the confidence, the skills, the automatic responses.
So that when you do get the chance to speak with someone else,
You're not just hoping you can do it. You know you can. You feel ready, prepared, and genuinely confident to connect in English. This solo journey is actually setting you up for those real conversations.